Thank you for listening to the Shawn1113 podcast show. I am your host, Shawn1113. Everything is beginning to take shape. It's now August, and NFL football, NBA, all kinds of stuff is going on. BA, NHL coming soon, college football pretty much coming soon with my predictions. And so is NFL. Shawn Steele's NFL picks. So everything's up and up. And by the way, let me actually start with one thing. Yankees fan, dear Yankees fans, I'm not a Yankee fan, I'm a Dodgers fan. Dear New York Yankees fan, I got one thing to say. Fire Aaron Boone. That's all I got to say. Now, other news. Um, the national, the Delusional Basketball Association, the Delusional Women's Basketball Association, rather. It's having a little bit of a problem with let's just say special toys, adult toys, but that is that's all I'm going to say about that. Um, um, are they making a statement that what is S the delusional National Basketball Association is all about? Is that what it's gone down to get any kind of attention? Pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? It really does. Tennis pretty soon upcoming. U.S. Open Tennis Championship. Why I think women's are wide open. The women's U.S. Open Tennis Championship is going to be wide open. I think the men is going to be Skinner and Alcatraz. Maybe Djokovic, but I think he's on his last legs on that. But I think Alcatraz and Djokovic, Medvedev. Just so many. Shelton, Fritz, Tifo might be in that, but we'll see what happens in the U.S. Open Tennis Championship. The woman is pretty much wide open. It can be anybody right now. I think Swiatek will be the favorite coming in for the women. That's my opinion about the U.S. Open Tennis Championship. Golf ongoing. A lot of things. Like I said, NS preseason football is taking place at the moment. Just got started. We're 3 weeks away from the NFL regular season. We're almost 1 week from the college football season. Um, Week zero of that is coming up pretty soon. I'm sure high school football all around the country as well, if they had already. So much sports. By the way, maybe we'll get out of your way and see at least highlights of the Little League World Series that are coming up pretty soon, Wordsworth, Pennsylvania. So, like I said, I'm a little bit under the weather, so bear with me on that. But if you love this podcast, please put up a 5-star rating. Share this podcast as well. Facebook on X as well. Found a solution for that. So somehow, some way, I'm sure some people might say in video games, college football or Madden, pick your choice. I've been betting for a number of years. I think it's a waste at this point. But if you're going to buy anything for video games, it's going to be college football, in my opinion, right now. So who knows? It's from EA Sports, so I don't know. Now let's go to the English Premier League. That's also coming up pretty soon, and world football for many of you out there. We call it soccer in America, but nevertheless, who's going to win the English Premier League 2025-2026? Until they're proven wrong, until maybe Arsenal or Man. I'm a Man City fan. My hope they go second place this year, if not win it all. It can be anywhere from second to fifth because you got Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa on the up and up, and of course you got Arsenal as well. And I otherwise it's going to be Arsenal Liverpool again this year at the end of March 2026. And until they get beaten, until otherwise I'm going to pick Liverpool to win the league. If not Man City, my Man City win the league. I'm gonna pick Liverpool to repeat again. It is going to be a part of bittersweet because they tragically lost Diego Jordan by accident and his brother as well. I mean, that goes without saying on that. But I think Liverpool is gonna have more than enough to win the league this year. Arsenal's problem is mid-season. When they get in a slump, they never the same. Mid to late season slump, they're never the same after that slump. When they get on the slump, they stay there. Arsenal's going to have to find a way to win some games, especially in the mid-season level to the late season, in order to beat Liverpool. Man City, the same thing. But I'm gonna pick Liverpool to win the league unless otherwise, in my opinion. Now, with that out of the way, Major League Baseball standings. I'm gonna look up for 1 second. Then I'm gonna pick the NFL division picks winners. American League East. Toronto Blue Jays have a healthy lead, four game lead over the Red Sox. Yankees may lucky be the wild card, but the way they're playing, this is why I say fire Aaron Boone if they don't make the playoffs, especially. Tigers, beyond having a slump, still have a pretty good league, but the Guardians and the Royals are playing some pretty good baseball right now. They're about 6 and 6.5, 8.5 games respectively out of first place. I think Tigers, unless the Tigers collapse, they'll win the Central, AL Central. The Astros, this is a good race right here. Mariners have gotten hot by one. Astros lead by 1.5. Rangers are beginning to slump a little bit. It's anybody's race, probably to the final in the AL West. In the National League, Phillies, the Mets. Speaking of New York teams, the Mets are slumping. Ooh, 2-8. Marlins, could they? I know they're at by 9. They may not be out of the wild card spot though. Could they? I don't know. Braves, very disappointing. To say the least. Philly should win this thing, but we'll see. They're 5-5 in the last 10. We'll see. Brewers, can anybody catch the Brewers in the NL Central? Maybe the Cubs, because I don't see anybody else. Maybe catching them, but I think the Brewers will win the NL Central unless they collapse. But they're playing as good as baseball as anybody in the league. Then in the West, NL West, Dodgers, Padres. Padres is playing some really good baseball though. 8-2. Dodgers 500 ball. 2 games. I think that's going to come to the final game of the season between the Dodgers and Padres. Padres, they might make the wild card, and I think they'll see 2 out of the wild card. I'll definitely see 1 out of the East, and probably 2, and maybe 3, maybe 2 in the Central right now. In the AL, I might see there might be 3 teams coming out of there, and or wild card at the moment. Mariners, Astros, Rangers are not out of it. Guardians might. Yankees are slumping. I don't know. Maybe the Tampa Bay Rays might surpass it at that point as time goes on. So we'll see what happens. Now for the NFL division winners. Actually, first before I do, ESPN buying sports. To me, the NFL, the WWE deal is actually not surprising because of their connection. TKO's connection with the ESPN has been pretty much wild. Getting their PLEs there is not a shock whatsoever. And remember, this is the TKO same company that has UFC. So I would not be the least bit shocked if when the contract comes up for UFC, ESPN it might renew. It might very well renew. Enhances the chances of them renewing ESPN, and they'll put me in one place: WWE and WPLEs and UFC for $29.99, like they do right now. Peacock will have the old like SmackDown. Like I said, WWE is the 500-pound. It weighs 500 pounds and it's so big and so corporate at the moment. But that didn't surprise me. Reminds me, if Vince McMahon was still the owner of the WWE, he would have taken the same damn deal with ESPN. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. But it's not surprising. The other one, though, the NFL one, after taking careful consideration, I got to tell you, this should be most interesting because this should be a most interesting marriage. That's what it sounds like to me. ESPN and NFL. The fact that NFL is brought part of ESPN, I don't know. We're gonna see. It's gonna be very interesting to see how all that sorts itself out as time goes on. Um, and ESPN may have saved their own network from by doing this. I'm serious. They might have saved their own network because if they didn't get the NFL, they would have been done, even with NBA. But it's going to be very interesting that they have not just Disney, they have 32 new bosses in the National Football League owners. Oh, that's going to be so interesting. We'll see what happens with the NFL ESPN deal. Um, ESPN deal. We'll see what happens. It should be a very interesting marriage, to say the least. Speaking of the National Football League, let me introduce myself to Shawn Steele's NFL Division Predictions 2025-2026. And with that, let's go to the AFC. The East, Buffalo by default. AFC North, Baltimore. Cincinnati will be in the running. AFC South, Houston, maybe Jacksonville. And then the AFC West, probably the toughest division football. I'm going to pick Denver at that one. Kansas City, maybe the LA Chargers in the hunt on that one. Now in the NFC East, NFC in the East, I'm going to pick Philadelphia. NFC North, Green Bay, maybe Detroit, maybe Minnesota if McCarthy's healthy. NFC South, Tampa Bay, unless otherwise, maybe Atlanta. And I think in the NFC West, it's going to be San Francisco bouncing back from their disappointing season last year. Seattle's going to be in the mix. Maybe even Arizona going to be in the mix. But who knows with that division. So that is the Shawn Steele's NFL division picks. I'll see if I'm right. If I'm wrong. I can. And by the way, I got to stand correct on one little thing. I did not know this before, and I will give credit to Clay Travis at Outkick of the stadium. I said last podcast that had Trump actually I felt he was wrong to say, oh, he can't I thought it would be up to the owners. But it turns out that it's the stadium that the owners want to build for Washington is federal land. So I can see why Trump said something to that extent that because it's a $4 billion deal and he can change the name. That's why he said because they're on federal land. So I can see why Trump said what he said on that. But I still think it's still going to be up to the NFL owners and stuff to decide for themselves where they go or even where they move. In my opinion, when it's all said and done, in my opinion on that. But we'll see what happens there, especially if it's on federal land. But I have to correct myself. But I stand corrected now with the latest stuff information that I got on that. I didn't, like I said, I didn't know it was on actual federal land in D.C. So there you go, right there. And by the way, Sydney Sweeney, great genes. Thank you. This is the Shawn1113 podcast show for August 8th, 2020. If you love it, star rating, like I said, share this podcast, whatever platform you may be listening, anywhere and everywhere in the world. This is the Shawn1113 podcast show. Thank you so much for listening. Please stay encouraged no matter what and live your life as normal as possible in an abnormal world. God bless you.